In 2019, the Canadian government accused itself of genocide. Yes, you heard that right. And don't worry, the UN High Commissioner needed to hear it twice as well. However, this issue isn't new. It's been happening over the last 500 years, starting with when European settlers arrived in North America. These settlers brought with them racist stereotypes that were targeted to Indigenous women. They started legislation like the Indian Act and created the residential school system. These three elements cultivated in a legacy of diminishment of Indigenous women and girls to the point that they are seen as third-class members of society. In the 1970s, since the 1970s, over 4,000 Indigenous women and girls have gone missing or been murdered. Most of these cases have never been solved. In 2019, finally, the Canadian government responded to calls and created the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Final Report, in which thousands of formerly missing Indigenous women were interviewed and the families of those never found were as well. This resulted in hundreds of calls to action, which included the creation of a new education system for Indigenous youth, reforms to the policing system, and new training targeted at doctors and nurses. So what happened to Joyce Aquan? What happened to Tina Fontaine? These things would never happen again. Justin Trudeau said that these changes would be rolled out in 2020. Due to COVID, it's been postponed indefinitely, which is a tragedy considering that abuse against Indigenous women is higher than ever before. These train tracks don't lead to Auschwitz. We're in Canada, not Nazi Germany. We need to get a grip on our Canadian genocidal issue.